Thanks to all of you for taking time away from your work and sharing part of your Valentine's Day to come participate in this open forum. Happy Valentine's Day. So, materials. The improvement in the quality of lives for developed countries and for developing countries depends heavily on the creation and application of new materials. We can all think of examples of where new materials create opportunities for better quality of living. Nanoporous materials and advanced catalysts for water desalination, plastic scintillator materials for radiation detection and national security, higher performing permanent magnets with little or no critical rare earths for large wind turbines, hybrid and electric vehicles, and electronics. Lighter weight structural materials for the transportation industry, high wear-resistant materials for the agriculture industry, new biofuels and biorenewables. An example from right here at Ames, lead-free solders. This list is nearly endless. As the DOE National Laboratory sitting on the campus of Iowa State, a world-class university, Ames Laboratory is ideally positioned to apply condensed matter sciences, its outstanding workforce, and its operations to create miraculous discoveries in new materials that will have an impact. So who am I and why am I here? I love materials. I love the science and the technology and the engineering of materials and the potential that new materials holds to have an impact on national and global problems. I love assembling multidisciplinary teams that, when brought together, can do things never been done before. And I love enabling science. I love enabling the science to be done by others. So I got to know Ames Laboratory much more closely by working with Alex King and Tom Lagrasso and Bill McCallum and Paul Canfield and Ivor Anderson and many, many others as part of the Critical Materials Energy Innovation Hub proposal development team, and now working closely with them as part of the leadership team. The people, the projects, the programs, the strategic direction, and the culture of the Ames Laboratory all impress me. That's why I'm here. So, I bring a broad range of qualifications, science and technology, managerial and senior leadership skills, and a unique perspective to this position. As Cynthia pointed out, I've done research in metallurgy and materials engineering. I've advanced characterization tools such as electron backscatter diffraction. I've worked in magnetic, structural, and functional alloys. I've conducted high pressure and dynamic properties of materials experiments. I've proposed areas of research across materials for energy, defense, and the intelligence community. And very luckily, as a postdoc, I was first introduced to the powerful effects of interdisciplinary science, where my advisor, a metallurgist, reached out to the physics community, including Bruce Harmon right here at Ames, where we began to couple traditional metallurgy and characterization and advanced physics and modeling to do things that others weren't doing. I've experienced developing and leading programs, including high strain rate deformation and failure, actinide science, the Critical Materials Institute, and I engage strongly in strategic planning and implementation as a very important component of advancing materials. My senior level leadership and organizational management include currently division leader for the Condensed Matter and Materials Division. This is 13 groups spanning modeling and simulation, nanoscience, material synthesis, actinides and lanthanides, optical materials. We do ultra-fast electron microscopy and material science. We do high strain rate deformation and failure in shock physics and high pressure physics. We do advanced metallurgical science and engineering. I have a broad breadth of experience in the management. Concurrently with that, I'm focus leader for the Developing Substitutes Focus Area, that is the Advanced Materials Focus Area within Critical Materials Institute. And I've been on the board of directors for the Valley Children's Museum. So this is a very exciting time for all of those involved in all aspects of materials. Just as the 18th and 19th centuries were known as a period of great breakthroughs in fundamental chemistry, and the 20th century is known as the century of physics, at least by the American Physical Society. The 21st century is setting up to be the century of materials, where the individual disciplines of chemistry and physics and biology and engineering and computational sciences are all integrated together to accelerate the advanced material development and implementation. The essential pieces are in place: vast knowledge of chemistry and material synthesis, a fundamental understanding of material structures and properties, high-performance computing and advanced material models, validated models capable of predicting structures and properties, and advanced and additive manufacturing accelerating at an unprecedented pace. The time is now to enhance interdisciplinary science. In addition, there are favorable government and industrial drivers as well. With the inception a few years ago of ARPA-E, relatively strong funding from the Department of Energy's Office of Science, Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy, and the President's Materials Genome Initiative, there is both national and international recognition of the importance of materials creation and application. More than ever, the future for materials creation is bright. In addition, the President has his Climate Action Plan, which calls for an all-of-the-above strategy, referring to the need to make substantial, rapid progress in renewable energy technologies. And Secretary of Energy Ernie Moniz recently released a draft of his strategic plan that notes the Department of Energy leads the nation in transformational research, development, demonstration, and deployment of critical clean energy technologies and efficiencies. It's interesting that the missions of the Ames Laboratory and Iowa State University fit squarely in the center of all these plans. So Iowa State University creates, shares, and applies knowledge to make Iowa and the world a better place. Iowa State is a world-class university. It has an outstanding faculty and an excellent pipeline of undergraduate and graduate students. University research, typically, not always, works on the basic fundamental level, looking at a particular material or a particular phenomena. National laboratory research, on the other hand, has hallmarks of it does science at scale, it's mission-driven, it employs interdisciplinary teams for science, technology, and engineering. It's responsive to technological surprise, and it employs powerful, unique research capabilities that aren't typically found at a university. Ames Laboratory creates materials, inspires minds to solve problems, and addresses global challenges. Addressing global challenges, solving material problems implies that mission-driven, interdisciplinary team, science, technology, and engineering that Ames Laboratory is well known for. Ames has access, the synergy between these missions creates tremendous opportunity to benefit both the university and Ames Lab. Sharing of resources, and this is already done to a very large extent. There's a tremendous infrastructure that is set up at the Iowa State University and Ames where there is mutual benefit by further sharing of human resources and operations and facilities. But most importantly, it's the sharing of faculty and staff and students that lead to potentially more larger collaborations between the university and the laboratory. And this is a tremendous benefit for the students. I take a look at many resumes that come across my desk looking for summer employment at the lab, and many of them are outstanding university, outstanding university, outstanding university. And then you see outstanding university plus research experience either in industry or in a national laboratory. Those are the CVs and resumes that I pay attention to. So the students get exposed to national laboratory science. How we do safety is very important. And then they take that back across to the university and do research in a safer manner in their own laboratory. So when university research is coupled to national laboratory interdisciplinary mission science, the full spectrum from deep knowledge creation to applied science to technological innovation is fully covered. And if that ST&E serves an economic, a national security, or a human welfare purpose, industry may pick that up and transfer that for widespread use. The university and the laboratory could play an even larger role in regional and national industrial research by coupling their strengths together. And in the case of materials, there is likely no better example of being able to do this than at the Ames Lab in Iowa State University. Creating materials and energy solutions. It doesn't get any better than that. As a one-liner, I'm not going to touch that. That is fantastic. With DOE as a major sponsor, Ames Laboratory creates materials and creates solutions for energy problems. It's not all about making new materials that's important. It's creating understanding for maybe phase transformations and phase stability to enable longer lasting stints for heart repair. It could mean understanding the fundamentals of interfacial transport to make batteries and catalysts better. Or it could mean developing a fundamental understanding of one part of biology that can enable more efficient, less costly biofuels and biorenewables. The current leadership team has done a fantastic job improving all aspects of the laboratory, the science, the engineering, the operations, the workforce, and facilities. Ames Laboratory is moving in the right direction. It has a solid and thoughtful strategy, thanks to Cynthia and the leadership team here at Ames. It's part of the reason why Ames Lab is doing so well within the DOE National Laboratory System. Ames Laboratory, in the current vision, will be our nation's premier research institute in critical areas of condensed matter science, its related technologies, and the strategic applications to advanced materials. So with the people and capabilities already in place at Ames Lab, well positioned to go beyond their current mission, beyond that current vision, to accelerate advanced material development and implementation. There are huge global and national challenges. Clean energy, which Ames is involved in, clean air, clean water, climate change. The nation and the world needs solutions, needs materials and science and technology and engineering solutions to these problems. And they need solutions to those problems now. So its mission is ideally suited. The momentum is in the right direction, all the pieces are in place, strong disciplines, cornerstones, initiatives. The new vision, Ames Laboratory will be the nation's premier institute for applying critical areas of condensed matter science to accelerate advanced material development and implementation. There are innumerable human welfare improving technologies just over the horizon waiting for us to make it happen. So, what do we want Ames Laboratory to be recognized for? We want Ames Lab to be the laboratory that the US government and industry go to first for their material solutions. It's not just about creating new materials. It's not just about understanding properties that's important. As I was just stating, it's about accelerating advanced material development and deployment, getting it into widespread use. It's often said it takes 20 years to get a material from a discovery stage to being out there for widespread deployment. Examples include Teflon and Velcro and lithium-ion batteries, gallium arsenide, catalyst for olefin metathesis. We must work to accelerate this process from the discovery of the material to the development, to the property optimization, the systems design and integration, certification of that material and that component, which is a big challenge now. Improving and optimizing manufacturing before final deployment. Accelerating advanced material development and implementation. This realization is not new. All these figures were taken out of the President's Materials Genome Initiative. It's recognized nationally and internationally. This is the direction of materials research. Materials Genome Initiative aims to double the number of technologies that gets deployed and cut in half the cost which it takes to develop, discover, manufacture, and deploy these materials. So if we want to be the laboratory, what does it mean? Ames Laboratory can further its national and international reputation as the country's preferred materials innovation laboratory. First, by becoming known as the laboratory that develops and applies science and technology and engineering to accelerate advanced material development. and the one that encourages scientific pursuit. As we all know, Ames Laboratory is the home to 2011 Nobel Prize winner in chemistry Danny Shechtman. Ames Laboratory should be, probably is very proud of that. Not every national laboratory can lay that claim. It is quite a testament to the Ames Laboratory. It's admirable and a great example of what an ideal research environment should be, that Ames Lab funded and supported Dr. Shechtman to conduct this breakthrough research. In addition, the laboratory will be known as one that develops data science and analytical capabilities and instrumentation with the goal of accelerating advanced material development. It will be the laboratory that delivers quality products more rapidly and delivers innovative solutions that others can't. And this will further the attraction between those sponsors, both government and industry, and will be a great attractor for talent, which helps feed the cycle of improving the laboratory. It will be the laboratory that provides that will exert a more preeminent role in the national laboratory system by its staff playing and enabling the staff to play a larger role in DOE and national decision-making processes, participate in funding opportunity announcement writing, participate in workshop report writing, become a larger player within the national laboratory and the scientific enterprise system. And the laboratory will demonstrate a commitment to diversity such that careers at Ames will be most compelling. All right, if that's what it means to be the laboratory, how does Ames Lab become the lab that the sponsors go to first? The answer is kind of simple. Continue to set the bar higher for excellence in science and technology and engineering, an outstanding workforce, and operations. And then to expand strategically into adjacent areas of expertise. So first and foremost, continue to deliver for our current sponsors. Be the laboratory that is easy to work with. Be the laboratory that is easiest to work with. Continue to build the culture of technological innovation. Continue to build the culture, the Ames Laboratory brand of technological innovation. Create a strong common vision for the laboratory. Foster a sense of shared responsibility for everyone, for one laboratory with the goal of accelerating advanced material development and implementation. Advertise the vision. ISU students and faculty and postdocs and researchers from around the world will want to stay at Ames or come to Ames to be part of this process. Attracting and retaining the best and the brightest from every background is a high priority. Continue to set the bar higher for operations, in safety, in security, and in efficiency. These are the essential components of a successful national lab. Science, technology, and engineering. This is at the core of all national laboratories and is absolutely the key for the future of Ames. Ames Laboratory has established strengths across all of its divisions. The four cornerstones are well thought out. The initiatives are moving the laboratory forward in the right direction. The program base is strong. With the addition of Center for Center for Rare Earth and Energy Related Materials, CREAM, has been upgraded from an initiative now to a program with strong funding from EERE and ARPA-E, and now the Critical Materials Institute. Everything is moving in the right direction. So, where do we go from here? Accelerate the discovery, the fundamental understanding, and the deployment of new materials. Lead the world in interdisciplinary science and be the recognized leader in converting basic science to applied technologies or deployed technologies. Specifically, what opportunities are there to expand scientifically? Mesoscale science. Many of you remember the late 1990s where the government invested heavily in the National Nanoscience Initiative. And the country has reaped benefits from that. And the increased knowledge we know at the atomistic and nanoscale has set the stage for the next big area in materials research. Many are believing that's mesoscale. Mesoscale is kind of everything in between. It's everything in between that Ames Laboratory does. Ames Laboratory could be a front runner in that area. Another area that I'm extremely excited about, additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing has been around for a couple of decades, but it has not been until the last few years where there has truly been a remarkable takeoff in the capabilities, in the interest. Companies are making manufacturing equipment that you could buy for your garage or your home, cost $1,000 or so. You can make beautiful three-dimensional architectures that have unique properties that no one's been able to create. There are lots of national laboratories and universities investing heavily in this technology. And it's going to go places. It has government support. Government wants to re-enhance U.S. manufacturing, become competitive again in that area, and this is a great opportunity. And while all the other national laboratories and universities are investing in the equipment, Ames Laboratory should be investing in the science of additive manufacturing. It sits right in the wheelhouse of what the lab does well. From chemical synthesis, nanoparticle formation and assembly, characterization, particularly in situ characterization of the synthesis process, all with the intent to be able to certify the materials as they go through this manufacturing process. Doing process-aware modeling concurrent with the experiments. And finally, in situ characterization while assembling materials. I saw yesterday Ames Lab purchased a new metal additive manufacturing machine, and it is amazing. If you haven't seen it, you should go take a look. There are additional opportunities to enhance the footprint in national security and further energy security areas. Cybersecurity and forensics. Forensics and data science, cybersecurity, and biosciences and biorenewables. It goes without saying that a world-class research institution requires a world-class workforce. And of course, this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. When we execute the strategy to accelerate advanced material development, and we become the laboratory that sponsors go to first, we won't have to worry about recruiting. People will be knocking at our doors, right? But it's important that diversity in the workforce is requirement for interdisciplinary science. Right? We want to be the laboratory that leads in interdisciplinary science. Turns out that like minds doing like research with like approaches often lead to incremental improvements. It's bringing together the unlike minds from unlike backgrounds with an unlike approach to do unlike things that creates innovation. The laboratory must continuously re-recruit its own people and never stop recruiting externally, looking for the best and the brightest that's out there around the world. Work with the university to continue to enhance its educational outreach and postdoc programs. It's that future generation, that generation of students now and postdocs now and early career staff that will be the leaders of the laboratory and the university in the decades to come. Increase activity in external professional communities. Nominate people to become leaders in professional societies. Nominate early career staff for the DOE Award and the Presidential's Early Career Award. Create visibility at conferences and workshops. Organize conferences. Organize workshops. Be the laboratory that writes the workshop report that goes to DOE or goes to the president that says, this is important. That's how you make things happen within science and technology. Use these opportunities to continually build the Ames Laboratory brand. We must develop an approach to career development that provides the necessary range of depth and experiences, provide opportunities early and often for emerging leaders, and allow latitude to explore science beyond what. Work with the university to further strengthen the lab's leadership. Work with the university to strengthen both the laboratories and the university's leadership development program. And this will apply at all levels, starting with postdocs in early career and mid-career and executive or senior leadership. Everyone could benefit from the leadership development. And once again, the investment now leads to the future leaders of the laboratory and the university down the road. This will help with succession planning at all levels. On equal footing with science and technology and engineering and an outstanding workforce are the best-in-class operations and facilities. There is no doubt that in order to be the laboratory that the sponsors go to first requires that the operations be the best in the DOE National Laboratory System. Become the laboratory that is easiest to work with. Ames Laboratory has an outstanding employee safety record. This must and will continue. As a division leader, I currently conduct walkthroughs of the laboratories, self-assessments. I participate in audits, conduct of operations, all of that with the intent of trying to look for efficiencies, trying to break down the obstacles. And as we all know, there are a few of those within the DOE system. Facilities. Materials Preparation Center is truly a unique resource. As a postdoc, I procured specimens from the Materials Preparation Center. In fact, just yesterday I toured them and I met the fellow who made it for me for the first time. It is a national resource. It has enabled breakthrough science not only here, but elsewhere in the world. It is an opportunity to continue to build upon that strength, to help out, to be a major part of, to be the supplier of materials for advanced and additive manufacturing. Continue to build on that success. The Sensitive Instruments Facility. Great news for the laboratory. Congratulations. Groundbreaking will be sometime in the spring. This will be a truly unique, world-class facility to house the best instrumentation in the world. It is essential that the laboratory construct and bring to operations on schedule and on budget to reaffirm to the Department of Energy that the laboratory is a good steward of taxpayer dollars. And when the laboratory does that, they will be in a great position to go back to the Department of Energy and the university and the state of Iowa for help with other facilities. So, our current generation of elementary school, middle school, high school, undergraduate and graduate students and postdocs and early career, and maybe even some of us, are so used to having information at our fingertips. The website is the portal to the National Laboratory. And as such, that portal needs to be the best in the National Laboratory System. Ames Lab 101. Who's seen those? What do you think? Outstanding. Truly outstanding. If you haven't seen Ames Lab 101, you should spend a few minutes. These are a couple-minute summary of accomplishments at the lab. They're remarkable. The laboratory should be so proud of that. And the laboratory should take that same approach to strive to have the best website in the National Laboratory Complex. All right, the Ames Laboratory is right on track. Current leadership team truly has done an outstanding job. It's been a tough ride for some of the national laboratories. Ames has turned the corner. What next? First and most important priority for the next director, keep the momentum moving in the right direction. Extremely important. So how's that done? We must deliver on our current commitments, do everything that is required to keep our sponsors happy. Sponsor outreach. Go talk to them. What are we doing well? What could we be doing better? We want to be the laboratory that's easiest to work with. Then what? We begin implementing the strategy to accelerate advanced material development by building that shared vision for the laboratory. We enhance community and political outreach, working with the university. We talk to our current sponsors, our future sponsors, the local and the state representatives. Get state buy-in on what the laboratory is doing. Remain friends with Congress. Remain friends with Congress. Remember, we want to be that lab that is easy, effective, and successful to work with. We must invest strategically. We can't invest in everything we want to. Focus on the most interesting and most compelling projects. leveraging the strengths that we already have to move in those directions we want to move. And starting with those strategic internal investments, we must further enable strategic partnerships, principally with the university, but with other national laboratories and industrial partners. That will help continue to build the Ames Laboratory brand based on the past successes and the future commitment to accelerating materials development. Continue to work on developing the highest quality workforce in the DOE National Laboratory System, focus on the demographics and the leadership development, and continue to focus on the infrastructure. Ames Laboratory has a good plan for maintenance, albeit underfunded. Continue to focus on the infrastructure so that we can accomplish the work that we need to do. And finally, we must assure the success of the Critical Materials Institute. So in summary, Ames Lab will be our nation's premier research institute for applying critical areas of condensed matter science to accelerate advanced material development and implementation. The mission is ideally suited for today's and tomorrow's national and global challenges. The momentum is in the right direction. We have strong disciplines and cornerstones and programs, and the ability to integrate from modeling and simulation to material synthesis to characterization to assembly and fabrication. There are growing ST&E opportunities, biorenewables, cybersecurity, materials, mesoscale, the science of advanced manufacturing, and there are synergistic opportunities for the laboratory and the university. Ames will become the lab that the U.S. government and industry go to for materials solutions.